That final sequence of this latest episode of Shinsho Yusha, Cautious Hero, is very unsettling. Unnerving, in fact, because what Seiya said to Rista and his two bag carriers, mashing them, it's something that we haven't seen from Seiya. It's the first time we've ever seen Seiya legitimately say to his party, let's rest, let's have some fun, let's just chill for the next few days. It's not going to matter in the end. That is scary. That is very, very scary to hear from Seiya. Of all characters, after everything we have witnessed from his character since the very beginning, it's scary to hear his character actually say that. So, I want to talk about that first. So, personally, I'm just throwing a theory on out there. I personally believe that what Seiya meant by that is two things. Either A, what he meant by it is that no matter the training, no matter what he does, if he goes to the goddess realm and he uses those 3 days worth of time in the god's realm to train, it's not going to matter. It's not going to make a difference. That's what I truly think that means. Because for him to allow them to just straight up, just like, do their own thing for the next few days, and he's going to do his own thing with them and all that, it kind of implies that he knows for a fact there's just nothing he can do. There's no way that he will be able to stand up against the Demon King and win, so he's just like, you know what, for these last few days, let's let them enjoy themselves. Let them be at peace and have fun before everything basically goes to hell. And it's kind of sad, honestly. That's definitely one of my main thoughts that I think is going on. But there is another. The other thing that could potentially happen is that Seiya telling them to, be free, have fun for the next few days, might be in his own way giving them the ability to get distracted, and he runs off and go faces the Demon King by himself. Something tells me that might happen as well. It might be a variety of things. It might be both mixed together, where he realizes that he's not strong enough, but he also realizes that he wants them to enjoy their life. And so because of that, he'd rather risk it all and allow himself to charge up against an opponent that he most likely will not be able to defeat, at least by himself, instead of putting others at risk. So if basically he has to die and he can win at the cost of his death, he probably would be fine with that. And it's really scary, honestly, because it had me thinking while watching this episode, or when the episode came to its conclusion, where is this anime going to end? Because honestly, I have not talked about this at all in my anime reviews of Shinsho Yusha. I haven't really asked light novel readers, how is this adaptation? Like, I've heard here and there, like, it's good, but what I mean is there going to be a conclusion to this anime? Like, is this anime going to cover all of the content within the story, or is there more that needs to be covered and we're going to need a season 2? I really have no idea at this point. But the big question I have, though, is that with what's happening in the end of this episode, next week's episode and the finale for this series, I'm assuming, I think this is only going to have 12 or 13 episodes. It might have 24 episodes. Like, let me check real quick. So yeah, apparently I just checked, it's only gonna have 12 episodes. So that's the thing, this is episode 10. That means that theoretically, we only have 2 episodes left, which if I'm putting things together from what I've seen from typical anime, next episode will probably make some form of dramatic conclusion. Basically, a crisis has popped up, and most likely, if what I said earlier on this video, with Seiya going by himself to face the Demon Lord, or Demon King, it might happen in the next episode. It'll end on a cliffhanger to where basically Seiya is about to die, and if they're going to try to do their own anime original ending, or if this is truly going to end at a good spot where the light novel was, I could see episode 12 happening, where they defeat the Demon King or Demon Lord, either gets away or they defeat him, but the reason how they're able to defeat him is through sheer luck and Seiya getting help from his allies, etc. It's a typical conclusion I can see. But the point I'm getting at, though, is there's only 12 episodes, okay, of this series. We're on episode 10. This was episode 10. That means 2 weeks. Next week and the week after that. So I'm just very curious right now, honestly, where is this going to end? How is this going to end? And are we going to need a season 2? And let's just say, hypothetically, if he does go to the Demon King by himself, without backup. He makes it to where Rista and Mash and all them, they're completely, distracted and they're doing their own thing in town while he goes off and goes to fight the Demon King. I think Seiya would definitely do this. We do know that he does care about his allies. Even if he doesn't show it right or he puts on this very tough demeanor, he definitely does care about Rista and all that, and this episode definitely clarified that. You know, he rushed back to save Rista, he just had a hunch. He didn't really know, but he had a hunch, and he came back and saved Rista at the last moment, and you just seen the sheer desperation and how he popped up and all that. He truly acted different. Like, he straight was like, you will die if you come any closer. Like, the way he looked at them was just indication that he knows for a fact this fight was out of their realm. They couldn't do anything whatsoever, and it made me feel like what I'm thinking is like, he's gonna fight the Demon King by himself. And if he does do that, I could see him basically laying down his life because of a couple of things. He knows for a fact if he doesn't necessarily die to whatever this like chain destruction thing is that, you know, the Demon Lord made, Seiya, theoretically, if he dies, he does go back to his original world. So it's not technically the end. Death is scary, but it's not the end for him. That's if, like I said, he doesn't die to the main, like, ability that can basically destroy your main soul. But I still think Seiya as a character, he would probably sacrifice himself in knowing the fact that everybody would be saved. It goes back to kind of the beginning of the story, honestly, when you think about the first 2 episodes, when we found out more about Seiya's character. Basically, him saying if he dies, it's over for the world. Like, if he dies, it's GG, it's done. There's no coming back from it, etc. I can definitely see maybe this going full circle, going back to his message of why we found out kind of why he's cautious and why he does try to stay back and learn as much as he can before he goes in. You know, I feel like maybe him laying down his life is his final act, the final thing he can do, and if there's nothing else that can be done, there's nothing else. You know, he's dead, it's over, and he gave everything he possibly could. I could just definitely see something like this happening. So, I mean, yeah, I think Seiya would be fine with dying to a permanent death. I mean, his character definitely probably would go along with that, definitely to save the world. So, yeah, I'm kind of scared. Like, there's a lot of tension that's been built up within this episode, and it's for good reason, honestly, because he almost died against the War Master within this episode, and the War Master bowed down before the Demon King and cried and turned into a baby because of it. That really just goes to show the level of power that the Demon King has. And so Seiya, he was literally struggling against, you know, the War Master, and he had to even resort to basically shared damage. Like, when his arm was cut off, you know, the person he's fighting's arm was cut off. They had, like, a link. And I could see maybe Seiya using this ability to probably kill the Demon King with himself. I could definitely see that happening. That's definitely a possibility, because for him to resort to such an ability within this episode just with the War Master, I can't imagine what he would do against the Demon King. So, yeah, I think that this episode overall really did a good job with setting up the tension and, you know, just the final act of the anime until either a season 2 or for the finale of the series. Whatever happens, I am still very excited. So, let's get into some world building real quick. So, there was something that we found out about when it comes to Rista, or the goddesses / gods, and also the heroes that, you know, come into these different worlds. Apparently, for instance, Seiya's, you know, soul is still in his original world. So technically, the soul that's housing his body right now is artificial. So, for instance, if he dies, it's just an artificial soul, and technically his main soul's alive, and he'll be completely A-okay. He's just reincarnated back in his main world. And the same can be said for the gods. For instance, Rista, and how if she dies, it's just an artificial soul that she's in, and her soul is housed somewhere within the goddess's realm and completely safe. And it's fascinating to me that Rista had no idea about this. She had no idea exactly how she was immortal or not, and somehow the Demon King knew about this. It's a very strange piece of dialogue, because honestly, if someone like Rista doesn't know, I know she's an airhead, but she's not, even though this show tries to make it seem like she's dumb, she isn't dumb. She is still very smart. Might not be the smartest, but she is smart, and I feel like someone of her caliber, she would definitely know about something like that, of where their souls are stored. So the question is, why don't the gods tell them? And how does the Demon King know about that? That's the question. And if the Demon King does know, how did he get this information? Like, we know he knows, just how did he get it? Like, did he capture a god slash goddess? Was he a fallen angel slash god? I mean, there's so many questions I have. Was he someone that was reincarnated into the world and knows somehow about the previous worlds? I have so many questions, honestly, because there's just no way that this individual like the Demon King should know. Even if he's the Demon King and he's definitely going to be very powerful, I just don't know how he should know about the gods and goddesses unless someone has been giving him information. So yeah, that was something interesting. Now, another thing, too, is, the whole scene with Seiya telling the princess to honor her father and basically say what she needs to say before his death. It's a very emotional moment, honestly. It actually got me a little bit more emotional than I thought it would, because I really don't have a big attachment to the princess, and I want to be honest, I didn't really care about the War Master, because he was a villain in this episode, and we didn't really have much time with him, so I didn't really care about him, okay? But the message that Seiya tried to, tell us, the audience, but also the princess, did come across perfectly. He basically told her, like, regardless of his evil actions and how awful of a person he is, at the end of the day, this is your final time to talk with him. This is his final time he will be alive. He'll be done, dead, gone permanently. And do you really want your final moments to be where you didn't say anything to him, you didn't get to talk to him, etc.? You really want that to be the case. So him slapping her really kind of let her know, like, look, you're gonna regret this. You're gonna regret this if you don't do something. And Seiya, it looks like he comes from experience. I don't know, it felt like the way Seiya did that, he comes from a symbol or thoughts of regret. Like, he looked like he had regret in those moments, the way he just looked at the princess and did that, because he's coming from his own personal experience. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's a good episode of, Shinsho Yusha, Cautious Hero. Can't wait to see where it's gonna go next week. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you got this video, please leave a like. And with that, I love you guys. Be safe. Chibi out.